Every week I know I've got pre-stream content, which is literally just you trying to work out an iPad. Which is funny because it's every week as well. And
it doesn't make sense. Why is there no back button?
You don't need a back button.
You do.
I don't have
so you can go back.
I don't have a back button on this either.
Yeah.
I just do what I said. Look, scroll up, gone.
Nah, I don't like it, no.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on your Wednesday lunchtime for the Liam and Joe show, you wonderful people. It's almost the end of February. It's been a fucking grind, February.
One extra whole day. Leap year, innit?
Well, it's less days than most months, though. But yeah, it is leap year, isn't it? Yeah. Which means, actually, officially, do you know what today actually is? It's my father's birthday today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's
16.
Like, what?
Yeah. Is that right?
Is he like 4?
64.
No,
Yeah, 16. Yeah, 16. Yeah.
How often is a leap year? I feel like it's
every 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
He was born in 1960, my dad. He was 64 today. So happy birthday, Dad. He won't watch because he doesn't like technology. He's worse than you are.
Yeah.
He doesn't like technology, no. It's his birthday, so he'll be on the golf course, even in this weather. Guaranteed.
Lad.
Happy birthday, Dad. You're not going to watch. But yeah, that's why it is a leap year, but it has been a rough old month. February's been difficult, and I always thought that January was the worst month for creators, and I've been talking to other creators in other spaces outside Warhammer 40k, and they're like, no. January, February are both bad months.
Is it because January, no one's got any money, and then February, people are spending the money on the stuff they needed to buy in January?
They're covering the bills off. They're catching up. Yeah, that's what they said anyway. So, anyway, we're here. It's Liam and Joe show. It's Thursday lunchtime, and we're talking about something fun today. We're going to talk about PRIMARCHS, right? This is a conversation we've had little bits here and there about before, and we've had little questions from people in super chats. We've kind of talked about it loosely before, and I felt like I really wanted to cover it in a dedicated show today, and hopefully you guys will get involved as well. Talking about getting involved, there's one magical way you can get involved for us. You can hit the like button if you enjoy our content. You can smash subscribe if you haven't already, and you hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live or drop a new video. You can also be a member to be notified every time we go live. Today is Thursday, which means it's double stream day. So it's Liam and Joe show at lunchtime, as per usual nowadays, because we have this lovely little talk show area. But that also means that this evening at 7:30, Joe and I are playing against each other over there in the other part of the studio. Fun fact, on Tuesday, debut army, Black Templars from C Studios. I wanted to run another army from C Studios tonight because podcast is currently out there for everybody. Talk show interview is currently out there for all of you members. Yeah. We'll go live to everybody else on Saturday. So I wanted to run 1,000 Suns. Another debut army though. Joe's going to bring Space Wolves. So
Not my Space Wolves.
no, my friend has lent us the Space Wolves. It was for me to use, but I want to play Space Wolves 1,000 Suns for the first game. We use Space Wolves.
It makes sense.
We put Templars for their first game against Orcs, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So Space Wolves Templars. Space Wolves 1,000 Suns.
What's annoying about that, because obviously I wasn't here on Tuesday, and I set up the table on Thursday under the assumption that Eddie was going to be here.
For Necrons, I know.
So I set up Necron and stuff.
It looked cool anyway.
But then with Black Templars and Orcs, I would have liked to have come here and changed the table so we could have had like the walls of Hades Hive or something.
Yeah, but we get like the rumble in the jungle that happened above the ground awoke in the Necrons because Eddie's here on Tuesday.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm playing him, aren't I?
Yeah.
I want to smash his face in.
Not
on the table.
Not on the table.
Not on the table. On the table. On the table.
So tonight, chat, you'll get another debut army. Space Wolves make a debut to the channel in live stream games, and they'll be playing against the 1,000 Suns. And there are no rules on Fenris.
Fact.
But I like the idea of 1,000 Sun Space Wolves because it's a bit narrative.
Yeah.
And that's a nice, cheeky little segue into today's topic about narrative. So I would have suggested that back in 7th edition, probably-ish, early 7th edition specifically, if you'd have said to me, Liam, are you ever going to play Primarchs in 40k? But no, that's what 30k is for. The Horus Heresy is to play Primarchs. 40k is not for Primarchs.
Yeah.
That was, 9 years ago, 10 years ago. Fast forward 10 years, where we're now to where we are now, and we now have multiple Primarchs in the 41st millennium that are playable. 5 to be precise, out of 18. 5 out of 18 are now playable, right? We have Gulliman and the Lion for the Loyalists, and we have Magnus Mortarion and Angron for the Heretics. I think it's pretty safe to say at this point that we're at least going to see Fulgrim return.
Yeah.
I think that kind of makes sense. And I wouldn't be massively surprised to see GW balance that with at least 2 other Loyalist Primarchs. And we can speculate about who that's going to be. Russ, Vulcan, the Khan, etc.
Yeah.
But the question, so that's like, I think that's probably reasonable to assume. We don't know how long it's going to take or how the narrative's going to twist and turn to get there. But there begs a question of a number of other Primarchs that have existed in the 41st millennium, not in the 41st millennium, but have existed in the Warhammer 40k narrative or in the Warhammer 30k narrative.
Yeah.
For specifics, Ferrus Manus, Sanguinius, Horus, right? The reason why I bring these up, supposedly all dead.
Well, definitely dead. Very dead.
Supposedly all dead.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question, right? If you're going to bring back the ones we've just spoke about, and then you bring back every other one that's alive, do you continue and bring back all the dead ones as well, and you tweak, retcon, change, or come up with exciting lore?
In Games Workshop, there'll be a workaround, won't there? So obviously Horus was cloned by what's his name? Fabius Bile.
Fabulous Bill.
Fabulous Bill. And that was 9,000 years ago in our future history. So he's had 9,000 years, hasn't he? You could do it again. You could just make another Horus, right? Which would create a nice thematic power struggle over the head of...
Between Abaddon and Horus?
Between Abaddon and Horus. Because Abaddon hates Horus. And Abaddon hates cloning as well. All Space Marines hate cloning as well. Like, they hate it. They think it's the worst thing ever. So they hate it. So that'd be a cool power struggle. Sanguinius, I feel like, would be like the Sanguinor Plus, you know, like Disney Plus, but Sanguinor Plus. Like because Sanguinius exists within the warp.
Yeah.
Because Mephiston spoke to him in the warp.
So there's Blood Angel's narrative already that suggests that Sanguinius could be reincarnated.
Yeah, but the real question is, does anyone care about Iron Hands?
This is something I was thinking about on the drive over here today to the studio. This was Iron Hands specifically were the ones I had in mind, right? And I'll elaborate slightly, okay? So let's imagine. So if we talk about Loyalist Primarchs, right? Who's dead at Loyalist? The Iron Hands Primarch, thank you, Ferrus Manus, and the Sanguinius.
Yeah.
They're the only two that are dead, right?
Yeah. Jagatai died, but he got better.
I got better? She turned me into a newt.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. He died and got better in the Heresy.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's the only one that's really dead. But, like, for the traitors, obviously Horus is dead. The Night Haunter is dead. Alfarius' soul is dead.
Alfarius is dead. I mean, his lore is very...
But Omegon is alive, but because Dawn killed Alfarius, not Alfarius.
Yeah.
So
for Loyalists, we're looking at Ferrus Manus and Sanguinor, right?
Yeah.
So this is what got me thinking about this topic specifically.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about it from a... This is weird, because this is now me... I'm not going to approach it from a lore perspective. I'm going to approach it from a hobby-based perspective. We're now in a place where Space Marine detachments are no longer strictly locked to specific chapters unless it's one of the very bespoke, unique chapters, a la Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Templars, Grey Knights, right? So if you look at then the rest of them, Iron Hands, Imperial Fists, Salamanders, Raven Guard, White Scars, none of them have really unique detachments. You can use all of them as any of them. And I actually genuinely to this day think it's a positive. Joe was looking at the Space Wolves detachment just a moment ago, and it's fucking toilet.
Oh, it's awful.
So the fact that he can choose to use any other detachment is I think, from a hobbyist perspective, a benefit and a bonus, because it means that the detachment doesn't put you off playing the army. But that means Iron Hands have a unique character, and that's it, right? That's all they have, is a unique character. So imagine GW decides, in its infinite wisdom, we're actually only going to bring back the living Primarchs. We're not going to bring back any of the dead ones. The dead will remain dead. And I've seen a fair few of you in chat already saying dead Primarchs should remain dead, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment. I'm hoping we'll talk about this for about an hour and a half, because that's how long we're on for. But I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment. But now imagine you're an Iron Hands player, right?
Yeah.
So at least if you're a Blood Angels player, you've got Dante, Mephiston, Sanguinary Priest, Death Company Dreadnoughts. You've got Sanguinary Guard. So you've got a lot of flavour just for your specific army, despite the fact that your Primarch's dead. Yeah. If you're Iron Hands, what have you got? Iron Father Ferios.
Yeah.
That's it. So you'll sit there and you'll be like, well, my mate who's always loved Salamanders, he's really excited about his Salamanders because he's got Vulcan. And my mate who really loves White Scars is really excited about his White Scars because he's got the Jagata Khan back, right? And I've got Iron Hands.
Yeah. They could do for Space Marines what they've done for Chaos Space Marines, in the sense that they go, here's your Specialist Terminator unit. And then Iron Hands have got in the Heresy, have got a Breacher team. Like the Medusan something.
Ben says only 9 minutes late.
You have to gift membership for every minute you're late.
No, it's just a flat 5 membership fine, Joe.
Oh. 5 now, is it?
It's always been 5, yeah. 5 membership fine for being late. Oh. Yeah. I put it up because people kept turning up late.
Yeah. So, Just don't tell us you're late.
I have said that. Yeah. Sorry, carry on what you were saying.
Yeah, so give you the armies that don't have a vast amount of flavor units. So give Iron Hands a special dreadnought, and then.
Do you think 40k Space Marines, in terms of unit choices, should get the Heresy treatment?
Yes, because Heresy, because the story has finished, I kind of feel like they're going to struggle to sell the game, in the sense of people will still play it because they like the stories, but if you look at things that exist in other places where the TV show or the books are finished, but there is a game for it, it's popular, but it's not that popular. The Song of Fire and Ice, right? Great tabletop game. So much fun. I love playing it.
That's the one based on Game of Thrones, right?
Based on Game of Thrones. And it plays a lot like old, like Warhammer Fantasy with the tiles and stuff. Sold like absolute hotcakes when the TV show was on. Stopped selling. Then they released House of the Dragon. Massive increase again, but not huge. Obviously that's finished. Not much kind of thing. And obviously they are putting new things on Kickstarters and stuff, which is gaining interest for the people that already play it, but it's not going out to a much wider audience. I feel like that's probably going to be the same issue that Heresy is going to have now. Because the books are finished, there's nothing creating excitement apart from those people who are either going back and listening to them for the first time or people that already play it. So they need something new that will create a lot of excitement so they can then continue to sell that model range. And I kind of feel like 40k Civil War is the next one kind of thing.
Internal struggle within the Imperium?
Yeah, bring back all the Primarchs. Go, in 1 month, here's 5 Primarchs. Pfft, see what happens.
I don't think you should do that, Jay.
Yeah. And then all loyalist, right?
That's extreme. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
We were talking last night about their struggle to build hype. I mean, that's a lot of hype at once.
Turns out they're all stuck on a bus somewhere. they're all using National Rail, and it's only just turned up. And and I feel like an internal power struggle, because within the Imperium as a whole. So say, for instance, you bring back Russ, Jagatai, Sanguinius Proxy, and Dawn, right? And they haven't spoken to each other for a while.
Yeah.
Not going to be very happy. They all want to be in charge because Gilliman's in charge now.
And a douchebag.
And he's a bit of a douchebag. Yeah. And they're all like, well, why do you get to be in charge? And then obviously the High Lords of Terror, they weren't happy that Gilliman's here. So they'll be like, no, we were in charge. We'd like to remain in charge.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that kind of happen.
This is controversial because we own all the Primarchs. Of course we do as a studio, and I like using them. Specifically at the moment, quite like using the Lion. I to a point think that perhaps all the Primarchs should have stayed dead. And when I say dead, I mean not in the game anymore.
Kind of like
Heresy for me, from a hobby gaming perspective, not even from a lore perspective, from a hobby and gaming perspective, Primarchs should have been what you played with in 30k. In 40k, you didn't have Primarchs. And I personally, I agree with something you said earlier, I would rather every single chapter and even every single Chaos Legion had 2, maybe 3 bespoke units.
Yeah,
a bespoke Terminator unit, and then a bespoke unit. So if it's Iron Hands, maybe it's a Dreadnought. If it's White Scars, it's a biker unit. If it's Raven Guard, it's a jump pack unit.
Yeah, because we know that there's that new Kill Team box set which is coming with Incubi, not Incubi, with Mandrakes and the Night Lords unit in it.
Yeah.
Right? Why don't you just do that for everyone? I would love for them to get that expansion pack, because the armies that don't have their own mainline books don't have any flavour.
That's my concern. So I genuinely think that the change in the way detachments are working in 40k is a positive overall.
Yeah.
So you can apply your narrative for your White Scars or your narrative for your Raven Guard. Like, no, actually, my army works slightly differently as a Splinter chapter. I love the White Scars lore, but I actually don't want to run bikes. I want to run Terminators. So I can pick a first company detachment and I can still make it narrative for my White Scars. I like that, but for some people, that's also negative, because you're right, because chapters arguably lack a degree of identity now. So again, we go back to the humble Iron Hands player,
Yeah.
and there'll be loads of them, loads of Iron Hands player, because they're broken in the past. So we go back to the humble Iron Hands player who's like, I don't really have any identity now, bar running narrative Iron Hands lists.
Yeah.
But I don't actually have something that is just mine,
Yeah.
that only I can take, apart from one big fat chunky tech marine. And so I think if you were to bring back Iron Hands specific Terminators, maybe an Iron Hands specific Dreadnought, an Iron Hands specific vehicle of some sort, 3 units, people go, these are mine, this is why I play Iron Hands, because no one else can take these Terminators, no one else can take this Dreadnought, this is just for me. And I feel like that is a better place overall than just bringing back a Primarch. Now, I can't imagine, if they bring back the Primarchs for any of the Legions or any of the chapters, I can't imagine for 1 minute they're just going to get a Primarch.
No.
I can't imagine that they'll go, here's a Primarch, otherwise you're just a normal Space Marine detachment. I don't feel that's going to happen. I feel they will bring extra stuff in.
I do like the idea of having chapter-locked units, though.
I do,
really
100%.
like, yeah.
I absolutely think that there should be more of a reason to run Iron Hands than just Iron Father Ferris. There should be more of a reason to run White Scars than just Khan not on a bike. Like those, but they should all be reasons to run those units, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at the fact that at the moment you're building a White Scars army, and you've basically gone, I'm sorry, but I'm going to use all the Ravenwing rules because it's just better than White Scars and it represents White Scars better. So if GW release White Scars specific units, what we're seeing is they'll also get their own specific detachment, and you might be like, well, I don't want to run Raven Guard now because I actually want to use that White Scars biker unit because it's really good, because it's really thematic and narrative for me.
Yeah.
But I also wonder where it stops. Someone said in the chat earlier, how far does it go? If they bring back all the Primarchs, do they then release the Emperor to play in 40k?
I don't think that. Well, you can't. He's a bit immobile, isn't he?
All right, but Ferris Manus is a bit dead, Joe. And so Sanguinius. And
He could be a skull in a box.
There's a narrative theory out there that if the Emperor was to no longer be sustained by the Astronomicon and died, he'll be reborn. There's a theory out there. There's a fan theory out there.
There was basically during the fall of the Cadia kind of end times, the Iliad story, Cypher was on Terra because he was with Gilliman. He was with Gilliman when he came back. They were like, all right, chum, because they needed a MacGuffin.
Chumney Weasel.
All right, the Cypher book, by the way, is great.
Is it?
And terrible at the same time.
All right, okay.
We'll go into sidetrack, right? So, great book, right? The premise of the book, Cypher is on Terra in a jail cell, right? Dark Angels, basically a Dark Angels veteran unit, basically has to break onto Terra without anyone knowing. So as a secret kill team, and they have to do some pretty shady things whilst they're on Terra.
Okay.
So not to get caught. Great premise of the story, and it's all about how Cypher is basically trying to escape and then trying to get away from them and hide and stuff. It's a great idea for a story, terribly told, because a lot of it's from Cypher's perspective. Cypher, the way they've written him, bit of a douche. Massive.
He's kind of supposed to be, though, isn't he?
Massive,
Cypher?
egotistical douche.
Yeah.
But great, there are great bits where they're having these fights across all these bridges and stuff, and there's a bunch of other fallen, and they're killing all these citizens, and the Dark Angels are like, oh well,
Yeah.
we don't really care. Like, he's more important. Anyway, so
Back
basically,
on topic.
yeah, but anyway, Cypher's obviously carrying the Lion Sword.
Yeah.
Right? Because Lion currently doesn't have his own sword.
No.
Cypher's not spoken to him yet. And the Lion Sword, apart from the sword carried by Gilliman, which is the Emperor's own sword, is the only weapon powerful enough to kill the Emperor. So the theory was that Cypher who people think is actually part of the Emperor. He's like Saint Celestine. He's like one of the holy saints doing his business in the background. And the idea was that basically Cypher was there to kill the Emperor, so he can then be reborn.
Okay.
But the Games Workshop changed the narrative on that one.
Well, and so which they are,
Yeah.
often found to do. And this is the thing. So okay, so if we go back to the core topic here, do you think they'll bring back all Primarchs, including the dead ones? Do you think they'll do it? And should they do it? Is the two questions.
I think those are the two camps that exist within Games Workshop. There'll be people that like to make money. They'll be like, yes, bring back all of them. And the people that are in charge of like the Black Library within Games Workshop, they're like, no, it's a terrible idea because it doesn't fit.
Someone said it in the chat earlier. Let me find the person because I want to reference the actual comment. I think it was Zodiac. Primarchs in 30k only really work at 3,000 to 4,000 points and agreed upon. I think 40k Primarchs should play the same way. Leave it to 3,000 points in narrative games only. I strongly agree.
I think if we're going to bring back all of them, put it like that. So once you go over 2,000 points, that's when you can bring a Primarch.
Yeah.
And because like in 9th edition, 8th edition, Supreme Commanders made sense then. Because you could take every army was Games Workshop announced, so we are going to have a Supreme Commander for every army. And if you can think because we're going to release them through time, and if you can think of a character who would be a Supreme Commander, you're probably going to get it. So Drakari players are like, oh, we're going to get Vect, because he makes a great Supreme Commander, and Space Wolf players are going to get Lehman Russ. But those don't really exist currently. Like there's no Supreme Commander for every faction.
Well, so someone said in chat that, chapter masters, I think it's a super chat actually, I don't want to ruin the super chat too much, but chapter masters used to be the heroes. I just want to pick up on this. Because this is the thing, this is all part of this escalation that's kind of existed over the course of the last 10 years. So back before Wraith Knights and Imperial Knights, when it was just in a single Imperial Knight, which is a bolt-on for an Imperial faction, you couldn't take a whole army of them. And you had Wraith Knights, and then you had Storm Surgers came in, and I just kind of, and I am... If we look specifically at the Guard super heavies, those things make me feel things. I love the Guard who's super heavy tanks.
Yeah.
But I don't think, my personal preference is, I don't think any of this stuff should exist in under 2,000 points, personally. I think all of this stuff, super heavies, flyers, genuinely flyers, Primarchs, should all exist above 2,000 points, which also instantly excludes them from tournament play and solves a ton of balance-based issues. If they were to say, you know what, 3,000 points and above, I'm not necessarily entirely against them bringing them all back. But then there is that nag in the back of my mind that's like, no, don't change the law just to sell models. Because I think that if we think about the current discourse that exists about Games Workshop everywhere at the moment, and people that have kind of fell out of love with the company, people that are highly critical of the company, I feel like that kind of plays into their hands as well. Like if they bring back Sanguinius, if they bring back, not Corax, what's the Chaos version, Night Haunter was.
Corax. No?
Not Corax.
Curse.
Curse, thank you. They bring back Curse, I feel like people are going to go, oh, they've just proven that it's just to make money. No matter how good, you could get the best law writer, you could get a Dan Abner, an ADB, you can get any of those people to write the law for this, people go, it's just to make money. It's just to make money.
Yeah, it is just to make, because Aaron Dempsey Bowden wrote the Night Haunter, the Soul Hunter trilogy for the Night Lords. And the premise of that is that the main character was there when Kurz was killed by an assassin. And then he watched it happen. And he didn't stop it because Kurz told him that he wanted to die.
Yeah.
He was like, let the assassin kill me, deal with her afterwards.
Yeah.
And then they did, kind of thing. And I kind of feel like that really cheapens his, because it wasn't a noble death, but he was like, I'm just sick of it. I don't want to be part of this anymore. Just let me die.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that takes away from his if you try and force it back. I think what I would like to see, right, is Games Workshop release them as the limited edition models for like anniversary birthdays or event models, and be like, these are legends. In fact, we're not even going to give you rules. These are just really nice models.
Oh, we can go down a real winding path about what should and shouldn't be legends, because and we spoke about this before. I remember going to one of the first GTs I ever attended after Abaddon was released in his rule state in 9th edition, and there was 18 Chaos players and 17 Abaddons on the table. And like I'm not going to say, I'm going to say it, and you're all going to fucking take the piss anyway, but there is no real immersion at tournaments, but it does ruin it slightly for me if I play 3 Chaos players and they've all got an Abaddon.
Yeah.
You're like
but
tournaments aren't for people that are going for immersion, and before you bite my head off, tournaments aren't for those people. Tournaments aren't for narrative people.
What if you go to a tournament and someone's running Iron Hands, they're running Abaddon, but they've got the Perturabo model?
Oh, you've lost me.
So you play against a Chaos player because you're like, oh, there's Abaddon everywhere. I'm sick of seeing Abaddon. But there's an Iron Warriors player who's an Iron Warriors Chaos Space Marine army, but he's got Abaddon on the table, but instead of using Abaddon, he's using Perturabo. The Perturabo model with
I'm more
Abaddon
okay
rules.
with that personally.
Yeah? It's the same thing, but different.
Yeah,
It's like me using Jagatai as the lion.
Yeah, it's weird. Right? I know this sounds like a weird thing to say, but I'm more okay with that because I like the creative brilliance of making it all fit.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of into that. I'm not against that entirely. I do think Primarchs certain named characters should probably be above 2,000 points. I kind of missed the day, and Melody said, don't release them if you can't use them in the standard game mode. Don't forget, Onslaught exists. Onslaught is a standard game mode. There's 3 levels of point sizes in the rulebook. It just so happens that the middle one, out of the 3 of them, the Strike Force one is the one that we all use because it's the one that's at all the tournaments.
Onslaught is basically Apocalypse.
It's up to 3,000 points.
Yeah.
Right?
Why isn't it just called Apocalypse? Instead of just releasing Apocalypse rule set, which is terrible, by the way.
Well, why do they call it Strike Force? Why can't they call it the one that everyone will use all the time?
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. So, like, I feel like then, for standard tournaments at Strike Force size, you won't see Primarchs, you won't see Super Heavies. But if we're playing on the channel, you're playing at home with your mates, you go, do you fancy an Onslaught game? We've got time. Do you fancy throwing 3,000 points against each other instead? Yeah, all right, why not?
Maybe
like, you can do that.
Maybe we do that for the Super Secret project.
Yeah.
Like, for narrative events. Just call it Onslaught. And you just have 4-hour Onslaught games.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
We can do that. So that's one of the things I would like to see in general. I miss the days. I remember when I was much younger, and I knew a lot less about the lore, to be honest with you. And I think there was just less characters in general. And my brother and I were collecting armies. I remember we would play 2 armies, and we don't know the rules. We didn't know the rules properly. But our proudest models, our proudest heroes in each of our factions were typically a Hive Tyrant or a Chapter Master or an Overlord or something like that, right?
I remember when Apocalypse first came out, and I played Salamanders at the time. Just having Vulcan Heston, I was like, I love this guy. This guy's amazing. I just have loads of veteran squads with melter guns. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. Just having one Space Marine Chapter Master be an absolute lad.
Yeah.
And that was great. Or what I had a Praetorian Guard army, but obviously I used Acadian rules, so I had Pask. Having Pask with just a Vanquisher Lehman Russ, a special character that hit on 2s. I was like, oh, this thing is amazing.
But this is where 40k, the current version of 40k, would then lead me to. So I'm like, I feel like we could go for like, we've got the Lion and we've got Gullyman.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, I'd bring back this. You're going to hate this. I warn you now. I'd bring back Russ, and I'd find a way of perhaps shoehorning in the Sanguinor, right? Sanguinius, right? And I'd stop on Loyalist. And I'd have 4 Loyalists with all the 4 customs. If you don't bring back Sanguinius, Dawn for Templars, right? So you've got 4 Loyalists, bring back Fulgrim, and I'd stop.
Yeah.
You've got all your custom legions with, I mean, we haven't got Emperor's Children yet, but we probably can assume it's coming. Who knows fucking when. But we've got, and I guess Ultramarines don't really fit that, but they do have slightly more units than some of the other armies. But with Space Wolves, Dark Angels, and either Blood Angels or Templars, you've got all those really custom units. I don't want millions of Primarchs everywhere all the time. That being said, that's like my personal want, right?
Yeah.
That being said, with the current version of 40k, where a captain for me doesn't feel like a captain, he's no longer a hero, he's just a unit upgrade now. There's no such thing as a chapter master unless you have a named, but like, so there's no real hero hammer now. So that's on the other side. I'm like, I'd like to see all the Primarchs, because that kind of reintroduces the hero hammer that I love so much. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's a balance, really weird balance there.
I think what we need is more. I think we need more named cool characters for all armies, right? So this isn't just a Primarch thing. I think this is like, so you've got, like, Guard have got Lady Cartman and Lord Solar, right? Obviously, I feel like Yarrick needs to come back.
I don't.
Or a new Commissar character that's good, because I love Gaunt, but the Gaunt rules are terrible.
But I don't want more named characters.
Yeah, but I think it's just like if you think like Genius Sealer cults, right? Genius Sealer cults, by the nature of the army, is not an exciting army, in the sense that, like, there's no cool hero hammer you can do with that army. But Tyranids have got Swarm Lord.
So what if they said? So here's what I would do instead, right? Instead of what you're saying, this is what I would do. New data sheet for Space Marines. I know they've already got 1 million. New data sheet for Space Marines. Chapter Master, right? Yeah. Chapter Master data sheet. It's a fucking beat stick. Loan up within 3 inches of units. Blah blah blah. It's like Lion type rules, not quite Lion type rules. Because it's a Primarch. And then 5 options, all of them compelling. You can pick one, and that's his specialty, right? And each one has an associated points cost. I know that goes into granular points. That's a whole different topic. But so at that point, but hang on, it's a Chapter Master. There's a little bit at the bottom that says, if you are running Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Templars, etc., Dark Angels, Ultramarines, you can't use this data sheet.
Yeah.
You've already got a fucking Chapter Master.
Yeah.
You've already got Dante. You've already got Azrael. You've already got Calgar. Right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, a White Scars player's like, I can make a cool character here and use him in my army.
Well, they've got Jagatai. Not Jagatai, Kurosa Khan. And obviously, you've got...
I want more Hero Hammer, Joe. I want more Hero Hammer.
So currently, Fists don't have a Chapter Master model.
They have Tor Garadon.
But he's a first captain.
See, this is what I don't like.
He's a company commander.
He's a boring Primaris Marine with no real story.
So they've got a Chapter Master model. Iron Hands don't have a Chapter Master model. Obviously, you've got Pedro for the called Crimson Fists, but he needs a new model. You've got Seth, who needs a new model. So it's like they're not all. They don't all have them. Salamanders don't have a Chapter Master. They've got 2 named characters, but neither of them are a Chapter Master.
Oh, really? Is Volcanistan not a
no,
Chapter
he's
Master?
he's a Forge Father. So he's like the leader of the Tech Marines, basically.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't want more named characters. I want less named characters, more customizable.
Well, Chapter Masters do have names.
No, I'm aware Chapter Masters have names, but I want more cool characters. Cool, like maybe I went wrong by saying Chapter Master. Maybe the datasheet's Captain, but it's not just a unit upgrade. And I feel like, for me personally, the desire to bring back Primarchs at the moment...
What about... Ultramarines have got Tetrarchs, haven't they?
Yeah, but
they're like Chapter Masters.
But for me at the moment, the desire to bring back Primarchs in general is because, as we've discussed repeatedly, Captains feel like unit upgrades. They don't feel special or tough or amazing. A Space Marine Captain at a Strike Force size should be an absolute fucking hero and a beat stick, and he's not. And so perhaps if captains weren't just this boring upgrade for a squad, and instead, I think you said this before, instead you paid for a sergeant upgrade, which gave you the ability.
I think the squad sergeant should be lieutenant level. Lieutenants are then the current captain level, and then you have one above that.
Which aren't named people, because some of my favourite interactions I think ever have been when a person on the opposite side of the table to me has explained the lore behind his character or her character and their epic deeds, and he's got this little mark because I did this battle. I love that shit, but you don't really get that
when you fight it just lies over dead. Have you noticed how Chapter Masters give you Space Marine Captains give you 0 CP abilities, but if he's a named character, doesn't?
Got really excited. Well, no, yeah, I know, don't. I got really excited on Tuesday as well because I had my Black Templars Marshal. I was like, okay, Brom, so this is the Marshal. I was like, so what he's got is he can use a stratagem for free. He's like, yeah. I said, he's got this ability where he can power up once per battle. He's like, oh, +3 attacks, +3 strength. And I was like, how do you know that? And it's the same as a captain.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. I thought it was unique to... No, same as the captain. Good. Okay.
But I think that's why named characters are cool, because they all do something different.
Yeah, what did I...
They're a bit more. They give.
I still want
a bit more spice.
I still want a bespoke captain data sheet that you can pick it up. Like, one of the things I'm really liking about the old world, right?
Yeah.
Here's your wizard. You can make it a level 2 wizard for plus 25 points. You can make it a level 3 wizard for plus 50 points.
Yeah.
You can give it a mount for plus 50 points. And suddenly you can go...
And you can choose your mount.
Yeah, here's 200-point model, here's a 150-point model, and suddenly, oh, fuck, it's 400 points. But it's now a beefcake, right? I really I'd like that in 40k, genuinely. For like a Space Marine captain, or a Chaos champion, or whatever, I don't know.
9th edition Chaos Lords. Absolute fucking unit.
So I think they shouldn't bring back the Primarchs that are dead specifically. So when I asked if they bring back all Primarchs, I think they definitely shouldn't bring back the dead ones. I actually don't want to see all of them return. I think it should just stick to the ones that have currently got the unique flavour. And I think that, if I'm honest, they will bring back all of the ones that are alive.
Yeah.
I actually don't think they'll bring back the ones that are dead.
I don't think they will.
No?
I think they'll. I think we won't get Sanguinius. We'll get Hench Sanguinal.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think he should be amazing, but I think it doesn't matter what. Like, because the problem is if you play a successor chapter, you don't get the cool shit. For instance, if you're a Blood Angels player, all the cool shit is in the Blood Angels, and then the successor chapters they get you got Seth,
Yeah, with an F.
and then there's no other stuff, and then they don't get. Despite the fact that Sanguinor turns up to help Blood Angels when they really, really fucking need him, he's very selective about who he helps.
Yeah, you're not a true Blood Angel.
Yeah, Dante exclusively only helps him out, and it's kind of, or it's like
I'm only helping the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Space Marines.
yeah, yeah, pretty much, and then or Imperial Fists. You got Black Templars have had a whole lot of love. They've got all the characters, and then you got Crimson Fist. You've got Pedro Cantor.
Pedro, yeah.
And the Crimson Fist don't really like him that much because he blew up their own planet.
And he's really tiny.
Yeah. And then if you're an Imperial Fist, you get one character as well, and he is much less exciting than Pedro.
Pedro.
He's like the Fistor or something.
Torgarodon.
Fisto.
He's got that really inflated elephantitis hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just kind of. There just needs to be equality. Equality in Warhammer, that's what we want in models.
Okay. Right, anyway, I am conscious of the fact that actually the fan funding stuff that Joe's got in front of him has been popping quite a lot.
Yeah.
And it typically takes us a long time to get through it. If you haven't already, let us know what you think. More importantly, gifteds are on 33 gifted memberships, you wonderful people. We'll go through and say thank you to individual.
Justice for Flesh Terrors.
We'll go through and say thank you to all the individual people who've gifted memberships. Thank you so much if you have gifted. If you've been gifted a membership, I just want to say this now before we go into this stuff. First, ! Discord, get yourself in the Great Hall server, come hang out with people because being gifted a membership gives you full access to that server. Secondly, currently live on the channel for Skull tier members and above is the interview I did with the CEO of C Studios, James. And I am absolutely blown away from the positive response to that podcast. So go check it out because it is a member's privilege at Skull tier and above to get 5 days early access to that content. Okay, so if you want to make use of that early access, it's still in early access phase until 1 o'clock on Saturday, at which point it'll go out to everybody else. It's I thought it was a good podcast. The feedback that I've got back would lead me to believe it was a really good podcast. So thank you to everybody who's commented and liked it already as well. You people are amazing.
USC, before we go into these, they must say, it's like Lysander. Forgot about Lysander. What an injustice, right? 8th edition. We're bringing out new plastic characters for all the successor. When we release a supplement, you will get a named special character. And Imperial Fisher was like, finally, a plastic Lysander. No. Some guy that they've invented for the moment. Why has he not got a new model yet?
Anyway.
He's on the headline acts as well. He's rules-wise a unit.
Is he Imperial Fists?
No.
It's because Games Workshop hate Valrak. More than Stu Black hates me, Games Workshop hate Valrak.
That is true. There's a statue of him
Yeah.
where like it's just full of knives.
Yeah, they hurt my World Eaters rules, but they just flat didn't bring Lysander to the game. That's why. If you haven't got Lysander and you're upset about it, #blame Valrak.
I kind of want to do Imperial Fist as well.
Oh, of course
I just
you
want to
do.
paint them.
So can we just not talk about any chapter apart from the one that Joe's actually painting right now? I actually would like to have a go at painting Imperial Fists because I feel like if you get it right, the yellow would be very rewarding. But I also feel like I would do one model and rage quit because yellow.
I kind of also want to do Crimson Fist just because I want an entire army of Stern Guard. I feel like that's cool.
I mean, that would be cool. Yeah.
They need an attack. They need to have like a special rule, where, like if you take Pedro Cantor as your warlord, specifically, Stern Guard become battle line.
We need more of that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More. Take this one character. This becomes battle line.
If you take the Avatar as your warlord, Avatars become battle line.
Yeah. But they must be the same colours as the original Power Rangers.
I'm into it. I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'll be okay with that one.
Thank you, Brandon Lagasse, for 5 gifted memberships.
I swear he only gifts you have to say his name.
It's always the first as well.
Thank you,
And
Brandon.
That's what we love about you, Brandon. Thank you, Rob Paul, for becoming a Skald
All by himself.
all by himself.
All by himself.
Thank you. In his picture, I can't tell if he's got a cool little red soul patch or he's got like one of those ice lollies in his mouth. Can't tell.
Wow. You might have either just got it right or insulted him, one of the two.
I mean, who doesn't love those red ice lollies? Thank you, John Bradley, for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Kelhund, for the super chat.
Oh.
Forget the Primarchs. Give me back my hero commissars, inquisitors, and more Castellans.
Exactly. I honestly, I feel like the 40k, I don't know. I want to know who agrees with me in chat about this. We're going to do a ones and twos thing in a minute, actually, because I like getting an idea of this, right? I am a person who prefers 40k when it's all custom-built characters to a person's narrative, rather than all named characters to a current existing narrative.
I liked it when you could build a Space Marine character, and much like anything, you can make him. You can give him whatever weapon you want. You can give him a plasma gun, combi plasma pistol, power sword, and a power fist kind of thing. You could put him on a bike. You could give him a jump pack. You could give him a scooter, whatever. Right? You could just tool him up however you wanted. He was a captain, but you could upgrade him to a chapter master, which gave him an extra wound, gave him an extra attack.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
I did. So I feel like I would want to go down the route of actually more customizing of heroes for Hero Hammer and less name characters, rather than more name characters, less customizing. If you agree, more customizing, less name characters, 1 in chat. If you disagree, 2 in chat.
Yeah.
Right? If you are ambivalent, if you have no preference, type of 3. Yeah. There you go. You get 3 options. But I feel like more custom characters. Yeah. I want that back.
Well, it's kind of like, even if you took a character, you go like, you pay 10 points to give him +1 attack, 10 points to give him +1 weapon skill, +1 to give him +1 ability skill.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Like 10 points to give him +1 wound, you know? Where you could like go like, he's really, really hench, but he's not very clever, you know?
It's a bit of a whitewash right now, Joe. I mean, it's pretty. This is the most one-sided we've had in a long time on this particular vote.
What was the question?
1 if you want more custom, 2 if you want more name characters, 3 if you don't care about either. There's 2 or 3 3s, there's 2 or 3 2s, and a lot of 1s. A lot of 1s. We make use of name characters because they have cool rules, and people want to see the name characters when we play with the armies. But it does make me sad that it's like I have to run Abaddon to make them work.
But it's also like Games Workshop's weird inconsistency of like, you have to use what's in the box. That's his rules. But also, we're going to give him rules for stuff that doesn't come in the box. The Space Marine Jump Back Captain is a prime example of how Games Workshop needs to make his mind up. In the box comes Power Sword, Power Fist, Chain Sword, Plasma Pistol, Bolt Pistol.
Yeah.
So you can take a combination of Bolt Pistol, Plasma Pistol, and Battle Pistol or Plasma Pistol, and then a Power Sword, Chain Sword, or Power Fist. Or you could take a Thunder Hammer Storm Shield. We don't supply it in the box, nor do we sell a model for it.
Jeremy says, my problem with customizing is you saw the same character with the most powerful upgrades every damn time. You're right, Jeremy, especially at events, that happens.
Yeah, but
for the narrative bunnies of us out there, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, like, if you think, like, if you're a Kyle Caradon's player, right? Forjudge used to sell the Red Wake, who was a fucking beautiful model. Tiberius, with his lightning claw chain fists.
Yeah.
Incredible. Their book is also very good. Right, so people were like, I want to run him because he is my chapter master. So I need rules for a Terminator captain to be able to have either lightning claws or 2 power fists or 2 chain fists. And if I take 2 chain fists, they become twin linked or I get more attacks or whatever. Because the only other option is taking a Terminator captain, giving him twin lightning claws or twin power fists, and then giving him the same rules as the Gravis captain.
Yeah, it's a shame. I want that customization back, and it's maybe some people will use it to run Tiberius, but more importantly, people will just make their own things. And the other thing is as well is, and I'm not going to tumble down this rabbit hole, chat. Don't tease me with it. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. But if you did that, if you did the whole plus this many points for this, plus this many points for this, if you get plus 20 points, you can give him advance and charge, and plus 50 points, you can have this, and etc. Guess what? Suddenly it becomes significantly more easy to hit that 2,000 point target again because you've got some like if you refuse to bring back individual model granularity on points and you refuse to bring back individual war gear granularity on points for all units, I don't see that it being a problem. At least bring it into 2 to 3 characters in a book, just to give you a way of hitting that 2,000 points.
Because at the moment, I feel like there should be more enhancement options for characters, right? Because currently we get 4, 6.
Yeah.
Four enhancements, and it's 10 points, 15 points, 20 points, 30 points. Tends to be the way. What I'd like to see is a page of 10 to 20 enhancements that range between 5 to 15 points, which is like a power sword that gives you +1 attack, or a bolt pistol that shoots more
Which
shots.
I'd also be okay with, you chucking them on squad leaders like sergeants.
And like enhancements, like you get artificer armor on a squad.
I preferred it in 9th edition when it was like, here's relics for characters only, but here's special issue war gear that you can give to your sergeant or your sword brethren. I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Because it's like, there's so many times where I've got 15 points left, and I kind of feel like I have to fill that gap. Because going into a game 15 points down just feels wrong to me.
Yeah.
But I can't, because there's one 15-point enhancement which I've already used, and then I've got a 10-point enhancement which I can't put on any of the characters I have access to because I've got named characters, or the characters I do have don't have access to that one specific thing, or it's psyker only. Or something.
It sounds like it's a you issue.
So I kind of feel like there just needs to be more generic things that you can just fill points with.
Yeah.
That do give you a bit more flavour.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway, we've got stuck on the first super chat.
Thank you, mid-tier mediocre, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Run the Clock. It says Games Workshop should only release Primarchs that are still alive in lore, in my opinion, starting with Fulgrim and an Emperor's Children release, please.
I actually agree with all of those things.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with all those things. I think Fulgrim should be next.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some people feel that there should be a loyalist one next to balance it out, but I don't think it actually makes a difference. So yes, it means that Chaos will have more Primarchs than loyalists, but I don't feel like it. Like it's not like it's his permanent seesaw just between Chaos and Imperium.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they need to release the word bearer stuff as well, because I hate them. I hate word bearers and heresy. I've gone through this. It's an emotional sticking point for me. But word bearers in 40k are terrifying. They're really evil, sinister beasts, and all the characters. So the Primarch, Erebus, and what's it? Old man Terminator boy. What's his name? They're all massive players in the current narrative of in the Dawn of Fire books. They're all about them and the things that they're doing, and they need. I feel like if they're so heavily invested in the storyline, why are we not using them?
There's an army as well that, I mean, you can do Night Lords and Iron Warriors and all the other legions. I would really want to do Word Bearers.
Word Bearers heresy model range, stunning.
I really want to see word bearers.
My Chaos Army is full of them.
I like word bearers, Jay.
Yeah. They're cool. I like.
Is it a shame, like being like the main bad guys, the main protagonists? I'm a fan of word bearers.
Yeah.
And I am predominantly a fan of 40k word bearers and how, like you said, how sinisterly evil they are, and the fact that they're kind of generic CSM kind of. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would be really into it. But I think because I'd be really into like for me, word bearers is like the icing on the chaos release cake. So what I mean by that is we had Thousand Suns, which is Zeech. We had Death Guard, which is Nurgle. We had World Eaters, which is Khorne. Next logical progression is Emperor's Children for Slaanesh. And then your crown on top of that is the ultimate Chaos Undivided that isn't Black Legion. It's been out for ages anyway with Abaddon. Yeah. And that is word bearers. Because they're undivided, aren't they? Essentially word bearers, right? That's like the icing on the cake. And then you've got your 5 main Chaos players outside of Abaddon's Black Legion and his Crusades. Yeah. I just highlighted everything.
Well, the good thing about Abaddon's, like the Chaos Undivided stuff, is that like in the Black Legion is that I feel like you should be able to use all of it in Black Legion, but limit to like 0 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could take Berserkers, but you can't take Red Butchers.
Yeah.
Or
Red Butchers don't exist, Jay.
I know.
And I know you just said that on purpose. Back into that.
Yeah. Thank you, TB. Have Amig Omegon as a loyalist and Alfarius as a traitor. Like a dual box set. like Magic the Gathering kind of thing. Here's your blue deck, here's your green deck.
Can't you just make 2 characters and you put them together like Power Rangers and morph into one?
Yeah. But I like that. I kind of like the idea of having Alfarius and Omegon come back as loyalists. Because the Alpha Legion are loyal.
Boo word bearers. Word bearers is so divisive for people.
It's like Marmite and Bovril.
Yeah, people you love or hate word bearers. I fucking love word bearers.
Yeah. They're so well written in. I can't remember which one of the Dawn of Fire books that it is in, but it's the one which is about the Imperial Fist who tries to join the Black Templars. It's a great book, and basically you have 5 Chaos Terminators turn up. There's like 40 Intercessors, 40 Primaris Marines versus 5 Terminators, and the Primaris Marines have the shit kicked out of them. Like 5 terrifying Terminators. That's what they should be.
Yeah, good. Anyway, we've got 270 people plus watching right now. Only 115 likes, chat. It's free. It's easy. Do it now. Do it now. You're not free.
Thank you. No. I am a cheap date, though, so that's helped.
He's lying.
Thank you, Douglas Lyle, for becoming a Skald.
All by himself. All by yourself.
Thank you, Schooner, for 5 gifted memberships.
He doesn't even let me finish anymore.
Thank you, Kazarian, for a super chat. Love to see Primarchs. Problem is their armies should be competitive with or without.
Yes.
And World Eaters at least say no. I'd like to keep Horus Sanguinus Furious dead, but buff Sanguinor to Primarch tier. Yes. I would like to see Chaos Space Marines be good without Abaddon. I'd like to see Ultramarines be functional without.
It's actually a real problem actually. You know, part of the issue, part of the reason why you saw 16 Abaddons or whatever it was at that Factorium GT, part of the reason why if you've got eight World Eaters players at an event, you've probably got 8 Angrons, is because a lot of them really do need, like a lot of the data sheets are, I mean, let's face it, with the exception of Mortarion, who's a bit poo, the other 4 Primarchs data sheets are all pretty decent on the whole.
Yeah.
So if you look at the data sheet and the current associated points cards, you're going, well, I don't know why I wouldn't take him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just too good not to take. And that is a challenge that they've got. How can we make sure that Dark Angels can function without the Lion and can function with the Lion, so you're not at a massive handicap if you don't take him, but there is also, like, so it's like, it's 400 points to take him. If you don't take him, you can fill it with with as effective stuff. But if you do take him, you don't get 400 points of stuff, and there's that balancing act. And I don't feel they've quite got that right. Specifically with World Eaters, it is a problem. I am currently building a 2,000 point World Eaters list at home that doesn't have Angron in it because I'm going to try. And I looked at my list and I was like, this is shit.
Angron and World Eaters is a prime example of too many chefs, too many named characters, not enough generic characters. They've got 1 generic character, which is Horseman.
Master Executions as well. 2 generic characters.
Less said about him, the better.
Why?
He's too good.
He's not too good.
Well, he's not too good.
He's too good with an enhancement. Yeah. I still think he's borderline too good with that enhancement. Yeah. Without the enhancement, he's a bit shit.
Yeah.
With the enhancement, he's decent because he gets the extra attack and the extra damage. Without the enhancement, he does give you units
fights
first.
Where's your Terminator captain?
Probably with the Red Butchers, Joe.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Thank you, Jarl Tom.
What are y'all talking about?
I can't believe I've found you due to your video saying you was going to do a Wolves army.
Oh my God.
And one has finally arrived.
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Tom, you're
It's here now, and we didn't even do it.
No, yeah. And it's prettier than I would have done as well. And probably prettier than Joe would have done as well, simply because of his time constraints, not because of ability. I was nice to you then.
I was going to walk away then.
I was nice to you then.
Yeah. I'm going to walk away anyway.
Are you going to the bathroom already?
I am.
It's been an hour, less than an hour.
Only by 3 minutes.
Still less than an hour.
I know.
Who was that?
Day, sir.
Who was that from? That was Jarl Tom. Do we just wait for him, chat, awkwardly in the silence?
Yeah, I'll
just do that.
Goodbye.
Mortarion is around a 50-50. He's good enough to take, but the points can be spent on good alternatives. Is he though? I think Mortarion is just a bit shit. Death Guard kind of the same when Typhus is an auto include. I don't know much about Death Guard. At the moment, Kyle is building up and painting up a Death Guard army. We did share his Instagram in Discord recently. I think he put Typhus, I think is the one he's already put on his Discord page. So he'll know about Death Guard. I don't know enough about Death Guard. I already play Thousand Suns and World Eaters, and I want to play Death Guard as well. I need to buff World Eater Terminators to fix the units to start. I mean, we could have... If you think Blight Lords, Death Shroud, if you think Scarab Occult Terminators, we could have just done with Red Butchers. But I'm assuming, if you look at Death Guard and if you look at Thousand Suns, both of those legions, we'll call them legions, had a first wave, a second wave, you know, and they didn't necessarily just all come out at once. And I'm hoping that that's the same for World Eaters. I'm hoping we've seen kind of wave one, because everything that we have right now is new, with the exception of Khan. Everything's new. Angron, I mean, obviously we get standard Terminator, standard Forge Fiend, standard Mauler Fiend, but everything that's a World Eaters unit is new. So Angron, 8-bound Exalted 8-bound Jackals, Berserkers, Master Executioners, Lord and Juggernaut, all brand new stuff, right? Khan was the only one that was an original model. So that's kind of wave one. I wouldn't really count Khan as wave one, right? That's wave one. So wave two, I'm hoping we see Red Butchers. I'm hoping we see a few other units. I'd like to see an angry jetpack World Eaters unit or something like that, but I don't know if we will. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't want them to go too silly with it. Silly concerns me. I haven't read any more super chats. We're talking to people. Oh, I see. Someone has said, did Joe recover from the war the other day? It says double W.
I recovered quickly from it. I was just very disappointed.
It was one of my favourite moments. You answered the phone so innocently.
Well, it's because I'm like, why is he calling me during a stream? Because I knew you were streaming at the time.
Yeah.
I said, why? Like something must have gone horrendously wrong for him to be calling me. Like, Rob has died, you know? Like, and we need to replace him. How quickly can you get here so we can carry on the stream without Brom? You know?
Mm. That would be the focus. If Brom had died, the focus is how do I get Joe here?
Yeah, business first.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, and then we got that.
Did you have the phone up to your ear?
Yeah, I am not one of those psychopaths that answers their phone immediately on loudspeaker.
Oh.
If you do that, I don't trust you as a person. Because nobody has that level of trust in their friends.
If you enjoyed the speakerphone war from Tuesday, just put one gifted membership in the chat.
Yeah. It's just
one gifted membership if you enjoyed the war.
If
21 gifted memberships turn up now, I'll be like, fuck, okay. Tom Brombadil.
Yeah. He's... Also, I find it weird with Brom being an Orc player because he's too starched, isn't he? He's
too clean and shaven and washed.
Yeah, Orc players are like... Less said the better.
Oh dear.
Necromancer Goblin. Great name. Chaos Hell. What? Oh, Chaos Hell for Iron Hands might bring him back.
Hey, what?
I think he started speaking a different language, and then
No, you fuckers. Don't just write one gifted membership in chat. That's not how it works.
yeah.
It's like you hate me. Worst month we've had. Thank you, Zodiac. You're a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they just need to bring back cool characters for armies, I think.
But do you? But do you bring? You say bring back?
I know, right? I think the problem is, right? I'm going to insult a lot of people now.
Again.
Again. Right. When you have a named character, you already know that they're kind of gonna be cool. Right? So you go Farsight.
Tell that to Belial, but carry on.
Right. Yeah, but Belial, right? But you think Belial, he is the Grand Master of the Deathwing. This guy should be good, should be unit.
Yeah.
He's got a prepared backstory. We all know
His
it.
model's beautiful now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You go, Seth is actually quite well established in the narrative. He's just really fucking angry, but he's got a heart, you know?
Has he?
He's got a heart of gold. He
Thank you,
cares
Jeremy.
about people. He's just angry.
Jeremy's
and
good.
he's got inner demons he's fighting, you know? But, you know, on the tabletop, he's going to be cool, you know? He's established. We know this. It's fun. It's good, right? But when someone comes to you and goes, here's my homemade chapter master. He is inner demons. He is sad. His name is Jeff. You know, he could do this, right? Like, that's cool, but like, I don't know anything about this apart from what you tell me about it.
No, but I think that's cooler.
Yeah, I think it's, for the person who's made the chapter master, it's cool. But for the person on the other side of the table, it's just another Space Marine captain.
I
with
think,
Space Marine
okay,
rules.
I mean, that's a difference in experience then, because I think it's cool. I like how excited people get.
I love that people I've made my own characters. Like, every time I build Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines, whatever, I always convert them. I give them different shoulder pads, different heads, different backpacks, because I want them to have something about them that's not the same as normal.
Yeah.
And when you create your own characters, that's awesome. But when you go to an event, someone will be playing, and they might not even tell you that they've made a super fan. They might not tell you about Chapter Master Jeff, right? He said, "My name is Jeff," right?
CMJ, yeah.
Yeah, CMJ, right? You don't know that. To you, it's just another guy of a million other guys, you know, on the table, doing his thing, right? But I think with name characters, because they are established, we have been given rules, we have been given narrative, we get that excitement about them being on the table too.
But do you not think, though, that also places an additional layer of complexity on GW, not in terms of rules, but in terms of... I don't disagree with some of what you've just said.
Enough of them exist in the narrative.
So I don't disagree with what you've just said.
Yeah.
Let's take Seth, for example, because he's one of your favourites, right? So let's take Seth, for example. So I don't disagree with what you've just been saying entirely, but when someone mentions Gabriel Seth, and I've listened to a red narrative with him in it, and you've listened to a red narrative with him in it, you will generate picture A of what Seth should be able to do.
Yeah.
And I might generate picture B of what Seth might be able to do. And Evan might generate picture C. And then Phi 2 might then generate picture D. And then GW come up with the rules, and actually it's picture E.
Yeah.
And then we're all going, oh, it's not...
Yeah.
And it could be that they're good rules, but we're going, they're all a bit shit.
But
this is my issue. If they bring back all the Primarchs, how do they make sure that every single Primarch is as flavourful as they need to be to represent that Primarch, whilst keeping it balanced, whilst keeping it in fair?
They get me to do it.
I think it's another reason for me. It's another reason to bring about less named characters, because there's an expectation from certain individuals about certain characters that is almost definitely not going to be met, and they'll meet expectations of others. There's that famous phrase: you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time.
How about
You need to carry on.
Games Workshop releases the models with no rules, right? Hear me out, people.
Have you been drinking, Joe?
No, right? So they go, here is a new Commissar Arcane book. We're releasing a Commissar Arcane book model alongside it. Just use them as a Commissar. So everyone knows when they go to an event, it's Commissar Arcane. Here's a Commissar. Here's Commissar rules. Done. You go, here is Tiberius the Red Wake. He's a Terminator captain. Just use the Terminator rules.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Right? So it's kind of thing you get. So they release models of pre-existing characters within books or in history, within lore, with no rules. Games Workshop goes, this character in the lore is a Space Marine captain. So use him as a Space Marine captain.
So they do kind of what they did with some of the units that they kind of legends at the end of 9th edition.
Yeah.
Where they went, if you want to use this unit, use this data sheet.
Yeah. If you play Minotaurs and you've got the Moloch model, use him as a Space Marine captain in Terminator armor.
Okay.
Right?
I'm not 100% against that.
Yeah. So, like, we all could we go, oh, Moloch. Moloch's an absolute unit. And the rules for a Terminator captain are pretty good. You've given him enhancement of your choice from a book to represent what he would do. Done. Burp. I think that's a quick fix, but we all get the models we want.
Yeah, okay.
Because I fucking want a Cypher's K model.
You do really
Also, I'm still angry with Games Workshop for releasing the weaker version of Commissar Gaunt. So you get pre-Vervenhive Gaunt instead of post-Vervenhive Gaunt. Post-Vervenhive Gaunt is better. Because after Necropolis, he's got the power sword of Hieronymo Sonda. Whereas before Vervenhive, he's got a chain sword. He's a bit... Rules-wise, as well, 10 Assault Marines go into the Ghost unit, murders them. He needs a power sword. That's like strength 5 with like 7 attacks.
Okay, good.
Just saying. At least if he was...
Oh, Joe, just read the fucking next one.
If he was just a normal Commissar with a power sword...
Read the next one, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you, Benjamin Dustin. Who is dead? Ferrus is a Legion of the Damned.
Is he? Is he?
Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no?
During the book, Master of Mankind, at the end of the book, they're basically the demons are pushing up to the
Grandpa is talking about the war again.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, the Emperor's plan to use the webway as a means of transporting his armies around the universe without using the warp has failed because of Magnus, right?
Magnus,
because when he teleported himself to the throne room, he broke the seals on the door, released demons into the warp.
Yeah.
Fucks it for everyone.
Yeah, got upset.
Right.
Upset the Emperor.
And then basically the 10,000 and the Sisters of Silence were holding the webway, basically trying to push back out again. It failed. And as they're escaping, running back to the throne room, the Emperor comes out as reinforcements. But basically, he generates an entire army of Legion of the Damned. Essentially. They're not called Legion of the Damned. They're just ghost warriors made of fire. And leading them is a giant ghostly Primarch with a big-ass hammer. So he goes, oh, it's Legion... And everyone's like, oh, it's Legion of the Damned, Ferrus Manus. Where the Emperor basically just created him to fight people. But... obviously, we've never had anything since. And Games Workshop's kind of forgotten that Legion of the Damned exist.
Yeah, which makes me sad. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool, Legion of the Damned.
I think the problem is you can't make Primaris Legion of the Damned because Primaris haven't been around long enough to die and then join the Legion of the Damned. But also, the Legion of the Damned has also kind of been confirmed as a lost chapter of Space Marines called the Firehawks or whatever it was. So they're not actually dead Space Marines. They're just ones who are very integrated into the warp.
Okay. So
okay. He is. So the Emperor has created him.
So back to Super Chat. He is, but he's not actually him.
Yeah, and then how long has the third heresy book been? How long has End of the Death Part 3 been out?
Still too soon for you to give out the information that you want to give out right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No spoilers, Jay. No spoilers. No spoilers, Jay.
I don't want to, but
No spoilers, Joe.
We'll come back to this conversation in 2 months' time.
It's a long old book, that one, and people don't necessarily have loads and loads and loads and loads of time.
I literally did it in 2 days.
I'm sure you did, Joe, but you get to do this as a job.
No, I did it on a weekend. I said to my partner,
Look at you go.
do not expect anything from me for 2 days.
And she went, what's new?
True. But Ferris is dead. Conrad Kurz is dead. Sanguinius is dead. Horus is dead. Alfarius' mind is dead, but body is alive.
Okay.
Because he put his mind inside one of his librarians, and his librarian went to Terra, and then and then Dawn killed him. So, but because it was his mind go back to him. We just don't know. We just don't know.
This is a weird journey we're going on.
But also,
Joe.
Horus has been.
Joe fucking
claimed.
loves Primarchs, if you can tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like Family Feud.
He loves Primarchs.
Yeah. I just like Black Library stories.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Cursed City at the moment.
Are you?
That's good.
Okay.
Good book. Christios Marguerite Droboloblos.
Yes, this
Thank
is how
you.
the stream started.
For
For the what?
for the super chat, he says, isn't Vulcan sort of dead? He's no one knows where he is. He's lost.
I don't think we do know, do we?
Yeah.
I don't think we do know where Vulcan is.
Yeah.
The
Because
thing
at
is,
the end of the book, he's still there. He's in the throne room, chilling.
Max and relaxing.
Yeah. And then he's just
Shooting some b-ball.
gone.
He said he's not, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for a lot of the characters, we've actually had some kind of like indication, at least, as to where they are. So, for example, we know that Russ has been fighting in the warp.
Yeah.
You know? I think Jagatai Khan went into the warp as well.
Jagatai Khan is kind of like basically the rumours are of like non-specific given out stories in non-specific places. The Jagatai is in Komara, and then some he's just running around the warp.
But isn't
Korax is in the warp, but we're not entirely sure because of weird background stories. Conrad has basically become a terrifying beast that hunts people.
Isn't Vulcan like immortal though as well?
He is a perpetual.
Yes.
So when he dies, he comes back. He regenerates.
If the Emperor was really clever, you'd think he'd make all the Primarchs that way.
Yeah.
If he's got the size to do it one.
It's a bit of a. Yeah, because basically the idea of the Primarchs is the Emperor imbued one specific part of himself onto that person, or like a part of his mind or his body or whatever, and he was like, "You can just never die.
Yeah.
Why not just give it to all of them?" I think it's because he didn't trust them.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't know where he is, but he's perpetual, so logically he'll always be alive. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you anyway, you hero.
Yeah, but there are parts of the story I can't tell you about because spoilers. Yeah, so thank you, Chris Joss, Marguerite, blah, 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 blah. Just to annoy Joe, bring back Lorgar as a Chaos Undivided Demon Primarch to lead Chaos Space Marines instead of Abaddon. Primarchs make amazing centerpiece models for their factions. Each faction should have a centerpiece models. Yes, this is something that AOS does really, really well.
Very well. Very, very well.
And it's kind of what's missing. Like Tau, if you think, what's a great centerpiece model for Tau?
Storm Surge.
Storm Surge. But they're not great.
I don't think they're great centerpieces either.
They're not great because it's just. It's like Guard. A Baneblade is a cool centerpiece model.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's painted really, really well.
But do you think that Lord Solar and his horse can be a cool centerpiece model?
I think he could be.
Yeah, I think he could be.
If he had a cool squad to join him.
Okay.
Like if you always put him in a unit of Kassakin kind of thing to look as really cool bodyguard, stuff like that. But he's still smaller than a tank, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. But he is a good centerpiece model. Like Abaddon.
So I guess the question I'm asking, the ironic question I'm asking here, Joe, is if size actually matters to be a cool centerpiece model. Because I don't think it does.
It just has to be a standout model.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Abaddon is a great standout model. I made mine more standout by putting him on the old Horus base with the eagle because I want him to. He is the reason I do this army. I want him to stand out and look cool.
Yeah, I kind of I feel like a lot of people will put their main favourite model on a bigger base to make it more standout.
I think.
But the reason why AOS does it so well is because their standout models are all very big and elaborate, often,
and stunning
and very beautiful. Yeah.
Lorgar wouldn't need Chaos Space Marine. I'm sorry to say this, Chris, just because Abaddon beat the snot out of him, and he's hiding in a little pocket dimension in the warp. He's a loser.
If Lorgar came back, he'd take charge.
He would not.
He'd take charge. He would. He'd get his little stick and he'd fucking bonk Abaddon on the head.
Kazarian.
No.
Joe, proxy your Radagar as Lehman Russ tonight. I would, but Radagar is at home.
And not painted.
And he is painted.
Oh, you've done him, have you now?
I've done him.
Oh. Did you send me a picture of him?
He's on my Instagram and everything. I did send him. You were like, I don't care.
It sounds like me, yeah. Evening all from Abu Dhabi. Hey, Chris, how's it going, dude?
Is it warm there?
Yeah.
Great. It means he never runs out of sand for his bases.
Fair, yeah, fair. Just super glue it and then...
Yeah. I remember I was working in Salisbury GW store one
Not
day.
quite the same as Abu Dhabi, Joe.
No, but there was a kid came in,
Yeah.
right, with his mum, and his mum was like, can I leave him here for an hour whilst I go
Did he look like you?
shopping? No.
Oh.
Right. And I was like, not really supposed to, this isn't a creche. Can't leave you. I think it was like 12-year-old child here. Like, I'm not responsible for him. And she was like, well, if I come back and buy loads of stuff, is it fine? And I was like, yeah. And this kid was just sat there, and he pulled out his tub and all his paint, started painting his model. His models are really nice.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's because he gets locked in his house and he just paints all day. But he was like, I was like, oh, you got some really cool sand there, because I love sand. I'll make my own, like, basing sand.
Quote for the day, I love sand.
I love sand. I mean,
love sand.
my basing, I got loads and loads of different tubs of different types of sand, and then I mix it all together for my main basing. I was like, oh, I got a cool sand. He's like, oh, I get it from home. I was like, where do you live? He was like, so Abu Dhabi. I was like, all right, showing off. So he flew sand from Abu Dhabi to sit in Salisbury Games Workshop store to base his models. We didn't fly it specifically, like on a personal jet, but he brought it with him. That's my Abu Dhabi story.
I think, honestly, I could say nothing for 90 minutes and he'd still fill it with content.
I just need prompts from them.
Yeah, I mean, you get loads.
Not very Anakin of you, Joe. I couldn't. Anakin only became cool after the younglings.
Yeah.
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 Why did Padme still love him after that?
Maybe he just had a big one.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
Right. Thank you, TB. I think for Heresy range, you could transition onto the Scouring to continue using those models. Yes.
Yeah, okay. You could.
Yeah.
Most.
It would be a good way for Games Workshop to reintroduce their old kits to keep selling them. Like the old Tactical Squad models and the old Terminator models.
Well, I mean, there's a part of me that have assumed that they're going to stop selling them on purpose because of production restrictions and warehousing restrictions. So I don't feel like releasing a game system to be able to sell those old kits is a positive step for them.
Yeah, it's weird because there's obviously a push now in Heresy to release all of the armor marks.
Dreadnoughty. Hence why he loves Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the greatest thing I've seen.
It's like Abu Dhabi Doo.
Hence why he loves Abu Dhabi. It's amazing. Oh my God. Brilliant. Dreadnoughty, you win the internet today, mate. Well done. That's what I'm calling him from now on.
Yeah.
Good. Abu Dhabi is amazing. Carry on, Jay. He's broken now, chat.
Yeah.
10 gifted.
Thank you, Dang Skippy, for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Stick Monkey, for 10 gifted memberships.
Stick Monkey did it, look.
Yeah, as Taby was saying, like, yeah, I think the Scouring is a good shout. But because the Scouring means that they can still use Heresy rules, but start to introduce things like orcs and And
In
stuff like
essence, the biggest thing that's put me off Heresy for the longest time is the lack of Xenos.
Well, I was looking at the rules for Heresy because I was like, I don't have a Heresy army, and my mate keeps asking me to play Heresy. I was like, but I've got a Guard army. I can use because they've introduced rules for the Guard. In Heresy.
The Guard.
But it's like, but your options are Space Marines, Guard, Admech.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the new Guard stuff that they've released
Stunning.
is beautiful. The Solar Auxiliary.
I was looking at the tanks the other day,
Oh,
and I was like, I want to do a Krieg army.
oh my God, Joe.
I was very tempted to come
I've
drive
got all
it.
those tanks in resin.
I know. I was like, I want to do Krieg now. I want to do Krieg.
We use all my colours that I used.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a firm maybe.
I reckon, right, obviously we don't know this as a fact, but at Christmas they did the calendar. I am 100,000,000% certain that we're going to get new Krieg models.
Yeah, I think we are. The minefield poster and stuff like that, I think we are.
Yeah, I reckon they'll be mental not to release a command squad for Krieg.
Yeah.
I reckon we'll get a heavy weapon team for Krieg. I hope we get Rough Riders. But like Death Riders. The Death Riders.
Death Riders, yeah. The Death Riders.
If not Death Riders, a conversion kit for them.
If they bring out plastic Death Riders, Joe, there will be literal man fat everywhere.
Yeah. But the problem is, like, what upsets me is that Rough Riders really good when they came out. Terrible now.
Fucking toilet right now,
Yeah.
With their one attack each.
Typical Games Workshop. We've released a new kit. Rules are broken. 6 months later, rules are bad now.
Yeah, and also, it's a melee unit, one attack each.
Yeah.
Good, thanks for that. Because melee is so strong in 10th. There's a tone it right down.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, there's loads to
I
get
know.
through.
I know.
We've only got 7 minutes, Joe.
Stop talking about Abu Dhabi. Right?
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Thank you, Benjamin Dustin. Don't forget, Korax loyalist demon, I'd make a mess. A Korax evil giant raven birdman.
I mean, it's not just Korax, is there? Because we spoke before about the fact that even Leman Russ could be loyalist demon kind of like werewolfy thing. So
Yeah, like
I feel like though, if they release any of the loyalist Primarchs as kind of half demon monsters, I think that breaks the narrative a bit for me.
yeah. The thing is though, what we're like, we'll take Raven Guard because they have very little in terms of like specialist units and like upgrades and things.
What, right now?
Right now, currently, you've got one character
Yeah.
and you've got an upgrade sprue,
Yeah.
which gives you little tiny little bird heads and emo hair.
Get emo hair, yeah. Lots
Right?
of emo hair.
Lots of emo hair. And as an army, in terms of play style, for what they are narratively, transfer it to the tabletop is the worst version to play Space Marines. I know this because I have the army.
Yeah.
But I fucking love that army. I love Raven Guard. I think what they almost need is a full overhaul to Raven style stuff. So I'm kind of implementing a lot of this into my Death army at the moment, like the evil. I put the
ones
birds
that can't
and the
hear?
yeah. So like the evil ravens that sit there and the crows and stuff that look.
Is it really that hard for you to put your tongue between your teeth and make the sound?
Yes. So. So what thing I was saying this in another stream is what is lacking from 40k at the moment is death, as in death,
You did it.
as in like the faction from Old World, like the faction from AOS, right? There's no grim, like evil, dark faction, is there?
Chaos, Tyranids, Necrons.
Yeah, but they're not. They don't embody what we would think of as death, like dusty crypts, dark gloom, ravens in a graveyard, that kind of Edgar Allan Poe style
maybe
death.
not. Maybe not.
That's what Raven Guard is supposed to be.
Yeah.
In terms of theme to look at. They all live in their big spires and write poetry by candlelight kind of thing. They all walk around on creaky floorboards kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like if they released evil Korax, or loyalist Korax half demon Birdman, they could release upgrade packs for Raven Guard, if done correctly, where you had kind of like the Corvus helmet, but with like a big bird crow, kind of like a crow skull on it, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like with the Reavers.
Yeah.
Really embrace like the skeleton. Have just more Raven stuff on it.
Okay.
And then we can be like, that's so Raven.
It's more feathers. That's so Raven.
Yeah.
Fucking shut up, Joe. Right.
Yeah, like how you've got with Blood Angels with the wings.
Yeah.
Like the Corvus Cabal in Warcry is my favourite Warcry team.
Mm-hmm.
If you implemented a lot of that stuff into Raven Guard, there's no bad result from that.
Joe just wants kinky feathers on his Raven Guard, GW. Hope you're paying attention.
Raven Guard are not Night Lord posers.
I mean, a little bit.
They're two different factions.
You spent a whole minute on that
Night
one.
Lords are Blood Angels posers.
Wow. I don't think that's true.
Thank you, Mid-Tier Mediocre. I've always felt like in 40k, your chapter master was meant to be your big hero centerpiece model.
Yeah, agree.
And each chapter should have a cool chapter master. Fact.
Yep. I think I would rather that than have Primarchs, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Yeah. 100%.
Every time.
Absolutely. I think it used to be a little bit more like that, right? Where chapter masters they were a bit terrifying. They had a big impact. They were good in melee. You know, they offered something important, and now they kind of just don't really do that anymore. And we don't really have chapter masters anymore. Azrael as a chapter master is pretty good. Is Dante any good for Blood Angels, or is he a bit shit?
Dante's
Seth's pretty terrifying, isn't he?
Seth is an absolute, for lack of a better word, an absolute unit.
Yeah.
He is, because for some reason he's got 6 wounds, whereas most of his Space Marines have got 5.
Yeah.
He's got more attacks than everyone else. He's actually got unlike a lot of Space Marine heroes, he's got a damage 3 power weapon.
Seth is what I would want Khan to be.
Yeah, he's everything Khan should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
He gives the unit reroll. It gives the unit advance and charge. He himself on the charge has 9 attacks with sustained hits, hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
He's strength 10 currently.
Yeah.
-2 flat 3 damage.
Yeah, he makes Abaddon. He makes Khan look a bit like a bitch, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Chapter masters should be cool, but they're not really.
Thank you, Benjamin Dustin again. Says Big E separated part of himself before fighting Horus.
Oh, did he? What, in the shower or the toilet?
I'm not allowed to do spoilers,
No
Benjamin.
spoilers. There's even the super chat telling you off about it.
I can, he is true, but I can't tell you why. And I can't tell you what for, because there might be some people here who haven't read it yet, because people listen to books incredibly slowly for some reason. I don't understand.
Because they actually have real lives, Joe, and they have real jobs.
Stop it.
Stop it. No.
Yeah. Dedicate more of your life to hobby.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zitmonkey. Saint Celestine and Cypher are Horcruxes. Do you know what a Horcrux is?
No.
It's from Harry Potter.
Is it?
Right. Basically, Voldemort, every time he killed when you kill someone in Harry Potter land, right, you lose part of your soul.
Okay.
Right, when you use abracadabra on people. Abracadabra! That one. Right, when he does that, it separates part of his soul. And what he does is he puts those into things. So when he does die, parts of his soul still exist.
Okay.
And obviously he creates multiple ones, and then Harry Potter has to go on an adventure to kill them all and destroy them.
Well, does he exist, though, if part of his soul exists?
Yeah.
How?
Wizard magic.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to start calling that separating myself. There you go. Exactly.
So basically, the Emperor he's implying that the Emperor has split himself into multiple pieces, because obviously the Emperor's got loads and loads of saints, haven't they? And they've all embodied parts of the Emperor's power.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
They're just reborn shower jellyfish.
Yeah, the Emperor works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Okay.
They're also called Games Workshop's MacGuffins when they need to solve a problem that they shoehorn themselves into.
Yeah.
I love Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Icebergs is honest, guys. It's 8 a.m. here in Colorado. This stream is going to be the highlight of my day. Love you, lads. Thanks, man.
Love you.
I'm sad a little bit that it's the highlight of your day, but glad that you at least got to catch some of it. Carry on.
Isn't that scene part of the second book, not the third?
Doesn't matter. We're not doing spoilers. I'm not going to take the risk. Carry on.
Pooh. Thank you, Doug Lowe. Sanguinius, as a temporary merger of Mephiston and the Sanguinor, think fusion of Dragon Ball to fight off some big bad could be cool. So Mephiston does juice himself up in Darkness in the Blood.
He does what?
Juice himself up.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Is that another name for it, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. He goes into a dark room full of men and he juices himself up.
Yeah.
Right. And he talks to Sanguinius. Because basically, as the Blood Angels fleet flies through the warp, the Sanguinor, a giant version of Sanguinor, basically flies in front of all the ships and it fights all the demons. And it fights a giant, like, black version of itself, which is actually the Black Rage. Like, because the Black Rage has its own physical embodiment within the warp.
Okay.
So
Right.
it's always battling that in the warp whenever they fly around.
Does it beat it?
Yeah. No. Yes. It does. It does beat it because Mephiston in the books basically takes the Black Rage into himself.
But if he beats the manifestation of the Black Rage, does that mean that they don't
So they still suffer
it?
from it.
But
It's a major plot hole that they did not think about.
that's what I'm. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I've beat this entity, which is what causes us all our problems.
Yeah.
But we still have it.
Yeah, we still have it, but it's not as bad as like basically if he hadn't taken the Black Rage, the physical manifestation of the Black Rage into himself, then all of the Blood Angels would have fallen into the Black Rage.
He took it into himself.
Yeah.
And then juiced himself up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is some interesting words right now, chat. Turns out, Horus Heresy, just porn fiction.
That's not. That's the 40k book.
Oh, all right. Well,
that
still.
happened after Devastation of Bowl.
Okay.
It's basically the book about how they really, really badly describe how Mephiston becomes Primaris. And how he survives the
Oh, that transition that was supposed to have a very high mortality rate, but they've all survived.
Yeah, because Sanguinius saved him and told him not to die.
Because plot armor.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's quite good though because he was the first Blood Angel to cross the Rubicon, and they were really worried because obviously he's one of the most potent psychers in the Imperium, and they're like, if he dies, does this go bad for us? And he's like, yes, it kills all of us straight away. We were all in bad juju town.
But plot armor.
Plot armor.
They're all okay.
Yeah, it was fine. Sanguinius was there, but he wasn't there.
He did it for us. He fixed it. Cool.
Thank you, Kazarian. Crusade character creation is in mainline 40k for the win. Yes, but more streamlined.
Less admin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Crusade as an idea.
Conceptually good, execution poor, in my opinion. But,
Yeah.
but I'm also aware there's a lot of people out there that like it.
It's just I think if you've got the time to do the admin, like if you've got Crusade only to me personally, my opinion, so not everyone's opinion, Crusade only works if you have a dedicated group of players who go over the next 6 months. We're going to do Crusade. We're going to play once a week, once every week in this location. We will all be there, and we will all play 1 or 2 games, and we'll keep all the admin, and we'll play all the time, and it'll progress the narrative over 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, we'll stop, and then we'll start a new one with the same group, or if someone can't play. I think it only works if you stick to it, because if you start it without a dedicated plan, it just falls apart.
Yeah, I think it becomes a lot as well over time. Or it can become a lot over time as well. So, conceptually good, execution poor. Sometimes GW in the 2020s. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
Thank you, Tox Trio. I hope that Joe is going to play the COR
Company of Russ
detachment tonight. While I know it's not the best, I have the best time playing it, and it truly feels Space Wolf.
Not being the best is probably one of the understatements of the year so far.
Yeah.
It's fucking toilet.
The problem with
I said to him, chat. I said to him, you should play it because it's the right one, and he went, no, I want to win.
No. So I feel like I should run it, but it is awful. And he was like, you don't have to run it if you don't want to. The problem with the rule, it's not character unit, it's character model.
Him and Bromnet. I told you, I was awful. Trying to make it a fun channel. Joe and Brom wants to win everything all the time.
Because Space Marine characters are just a bit wet in combat.
I'm working really hard, chat, to make this a narrative, fun, engaging, enjoyable channel.
And the fact that you have to spend CP to target another character in another unit is bullshit.
And these two just try hard and win all the time and just bring the strongest I possibly can.
I think.
You think?
They should bring back challenges. Get rid of this stupid...
Oh, Joe! Stop talking dirty to me. I miss challenges.
Get rid of this stupid fucking stratagem, which is like, give your character precision who can then... But your opponent's character can't defend himself against it.
Yeah.
Right?
He could do it back.
Yeah, but you have to have this... If you don't have the CP, you can't do it.
No, we'll keep the CP then.
Just don't have it.
Stop spending it on rerolls.
Just don't have it as a stratagem. Just have it as a thing. Put the two characters to one side, they can only fight each other.
Oh, I miss challenges. Challenge! I miss that.
It was just... It was just so... It was such a great, perfect little rule.
Yeah.
Because I think that would make this detachment for Space Wolves better.
Yeah.
If Space Marine characters could actually target other characters. Because you have to just weird, but okay, my entire unit has to kill the bodyguard unit, so then my character can fight your character to then potentially kill him.
Just pay CP.
But if my Space Marine character if my unit doesn't kill that unit, then my character has to try and kill your character's unit, and then I have to wait another turn. I'm dead.
I feel like you're just moaning and you should just use a detachment. Anyway, I'll see what I can do, Toxtro. No promises.
I've already done games where I've run detachments just to prove that they're shit. And guess what? It's not enjoyable. I'm running this detachment. I know it's shit, but I just want to show you how shit it is.
Which ones?
I did it before, and I remember playing it, and I was like, this is bad. What did I run? It wasn't not long ago. It wasn't long ago either. I ran it knowing it was terrible.
Admech? Was it Admech when you played Admech?
Yes.
I mean, they're all terrible.
That was not a great 2 weeks for Joe. No,
I mean Admech. I'm sorry if you're a Admech player out there. Admech is very much a shelved army right now.
As a player, absolutely fucking not. He doesn't want challenges to come back.
No? Oh, okay. Oh.
Because then all of his characters would die immediately. Also, Tau, another army with a terrible army rule.
Why?
Because it doesn't start until turn 3, by which point they're all dead.
Yeah, well, keep them alive then. Next.
Thank you, Sir Galahad Grow Hunter. This is pink.
It's a big pink one, this one.
Yeah. 30k word bearers are so well written, but I feel like 40k Lorgar is done dirty by Games Workshop and is becoming a meme. They need to start his comeback as a very dangerous Primarch. Get him running up the steps on Terra and celebrating like Rocky. Yeah, the thing is though, he's kind of like a real background character in the Dawn of Fire books. It's more about Erebus and what is his name? Dusty Terminator Man.
Dave.
Yeah.
I feel.
Chat. What's his name?
The problem when you bring a character in the narrative to the forefront of said narrative is if he was providing you with a role previously by being a background character, and you could just go, we can just attribute that to Lorgar, whatever. You then kind of have to replace, when you bring a character to the front, you have to replace that background character as well, right? Yeah. So I would love to see Erebus and Lorgar as this like horrifically evil, like super bad guy duo in the 41st millennium. I would love to see it. And if we think about what you said,
Dusty
if you think about what you said, Corferon,
Got a fair on, yeah.
if you think about what we were saying before about potential civil war in Imperium, which I don't know if I'm for it or not, because it kind of feels a bit repetitive, but I could see them going that way narrative.
Yeah.
You could almost do something similar in the realm of Chaos as well,
Yeah.
because you could do this kind of Abaddon I guess you could do Lorgar, you could do Erebus.
The thing is, there's the new book coming out called The Hand of Abaddon, who is like a evil chaos sorcerer man.
Yeah.
And he's obviously got his own book now. But he's working in the background, and he is having an internal power struggle within chaos versus the word bearers. So it might be a chance that this actually does happen.
What I'm saying, you could create some internal beef between the Black Legion and the Word Bearers, between Abaddon and Lorgar, and then this guy and Erebus. Maybe, I don't know. But again, if you bring Lorgar to the forefront as this ultimate bad guy, you would probably, from plot perspective, you'd need to kind of replace that background character as well. And I don't know how they do that.
Like, where is my Iron Warriors? Per Arabo come. Per Arabo is my favourite Primarch.
Is he?
Yeah.
Really?
I love Iron Warriors. Per Arabo is just great. He's got one of the better Primarch novels as well.
Okay.
And
I've never really read or listened to any lore that heavily involves Perty.
He is basically a really angsty teenager who's really incredible at everything, but no one gives him compliments on how incredible he is. He knows he's incredible, but he's like, why is no one telling me I'm incredible? Why is no one telling me how great I am?
Is that why you like him so much? Do you relate?
And then he gets in a mood and breaks everything. That's just and then he's like, but he's just great.
So do you just feel like Per Arabo is 40k you?
Yeah, or Call of Duty me. But he is a really annoying background character in 40k. Because the Iron Warriors just create all of the siege engines, all of the demon engines for Chaos Space Marine. They're just like background.
Yeah, the thing is, in the 40k world though, right? They're actually, I feel like they're quite hard to make a cool army because the problem I have in general is the demon engines in 40k are very mono. Like, if you run 3 Forge Fiends, 3 Mauler Fiends, 3 Helldrakes, they all look exactly the same, and it's a bit dull. So to actually make proper Iron Warriors, I feel like you'd have to do a heavy amount of conversion work for each one, or we need more Demon Engines.
I think what we need is more, for Iron Warriors specifically, I feel like Demon Engines work really well for Word Bearers, for Black Legion. I think what we need for Iron Warriors is more emphasis on tanks and siege weapons.
Okay.
So in the olden days, we used to be able to take, Iron Warriors used to be able to take basilisks and Medusas. I feel like maybe that's like something they should be able to take now.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much for the big pink anyway, man. That's an absolutely incredible dono. We really appreciate it. You're a hero. February has been rough. The 36 gifted memberships would prove that. It's fine. I'm just tired because I've been crying.
Iron Warriors is Dark Mechanicum, yes. But it has to be Dark Mechanicum, not done right. I'm pointing at Liam's desk. You can't see it, but it's behind me in the corner.
Bastor.
I hate that model. It's so awful.
He's got a real problem with it, Jack.
I'm sorry, if you love it, and I know I upset Paul the other day, because Vastor was like one of his favourite models. He's taken him to the painting competition. I know he loves Vastor. He's just blown away by it. I'm like, I can't love it. All right? Just can't. It's silly.
So if I paint him up in Black Legion colours as a gift for you to use on stream,
I'll throw it. I'll open that skylight over there and just yeet it into the bus station across the road.
Yeah.
I won't. I'm not that mean. But I'll be like, thank you. I'll be like one of those kids on Christmas Day that gets given socks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hug grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, Zodiac, for one gifted membership. Thank you, Jeremy.
Blankenship.
Blankenship. No, Blankenship. Blankenship. Necromancer Goblin. Keys of Hell. The Iron Hands used them to revive dead Marines after the Istvan massacre but with major flaws.
Ooh.
That's a cool thing. I'm really sorry, Necromancer, because you clearly like Iron Hands. I honestly, during the books, I listened to the Fulgrim book, which was incredible, and Angels Exterminatus, which is a great book. But the Iron Hands in it were just a bit meh. And when I did the Heresy books, I basically listened all the way up past Fulgrim into Agents Cybernatus, and then after that, I kind of just picked a Legion and just followed it throughout the books, and then picked another Legion and followed it through the books. Iron Hands was just one of those ones that I never really picked up on, because I was a bit like, they're just really angry that he's dead, and then they complain about the fact that he's dead in every book all the time. And you know when like someone's like really angry about something,
Yeah.
that really media. Obviously, their dad dying is really
Dad, but yeah.
dad.
Gene Sire.
Gene Sire has died. Obviously, it's very important to them because they really love him. But it's like when someone goes to be like, "Oh, I broke my phone screen." They go on about it for 3 weeks. I'm like, "You can stop now."
Yeah.
You know, I don't care.
Do you think that in the Heresy, and do you think more Primarchs throughout the whole of the series could have gone down the Ferrus Manus route and been killed rather than so many just disappearing into the warp or whatever?
Yeah. Obviously Sanguinius died. One of the reasons why I don't want Sanguinius to come back is I feel like it really cheapens his death.
I agree.
His sacrifice.
I 100% agree. Absolutely.
Warhawk was an incredible Heresy book, right? And Jagatai did die in it, but he was saved by the Emperor. The Emperor just got his soul and put it back in his body.
See, I don't like...
And
there's not enough actual consequential death.
But like when he died, another Space Marine was put like the Master of the Hunt, Shiban Khan, was put in charge of the chapter. And they're really sad and they're really angry, and the White Scars went fucking mental when they felt that he died. And part of me was like, should have let him die.
Yeah. Because
like then White Scars get a new figurehead, but they've also got a reason for their anger. But the problem is when you kill a demon Primarch, he just grows back again.
I kind of don't like. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that.
Because like when Chaos demons die, when they get killed not in the warp, it takes them literally thousands and thousands and thousands of years to regenerate in the warp. But a demon Primarch is literally instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like you kill Angron 10 times, he comes back every time.
Literally on the same game.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had games where he's come back like 4 times.
Yeah.
And
right, we need to get through this anyway. I've still got a shop to go to before the energy people turn up to the studio and do their assessment.
Okay. Thank you, Dread Naughty, for my gift membership. Thank you, David Squires. Joe, quit spoiling books. They're in my to-read stack. Right, David, right, you have to set, we need to, right, this not just because of David, but I feel like to protect David as well, right, there needs to be a limit on time from when that thing's released until someone's allowed to spoil it.
3 years.
That's a long time. Right? I feel like it should be like
35 months.
2 months.
I mean, that's relatively reasonable.
Right?
Relatively.
If someone goes to, like, by the way, Dumbledore dies. That was 10 years ago. And he's going, I haven't watched the last film yet. I'm like, you've had the time. You've literally had the time to do it. All right? And it's kind of like, I kind of feel like, right, stop reading, David. Get Audible.
Yeah.
Right?
Audible's
I don't want to sound so boneheaded and douchey, but Audible is the reason why I'm so up to date, because somebody reads it to me.
I don't have, honestly, I don't have the inclination to listen to Audible.
The only downside to Audible is when you're listening to a series and they change the author.
Yeah.
It's always to someone terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to a really good deaf horror series for AOS, and it was all female readers. And then the newest book is a male reader, and the guy literally didn't want to be there that day.
No.
He sounds so literally dead inside. I'm like, oh, this kind of killed the narrative for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Boo.
6 months at least. I'll have to think about it.
But I think in the realms of content creation, and staying relative and new, not being able to talk about stuff is a bit hampering.
Yeah, well, I've thought about doing a little series where we review heresy books, you and I, because I don't read them at all.
Yeah.
So you can talk me through what happens in the book, and we can just talk about it, which
Yeah.
would be interesting.
It'd be like that scene from Always Sunny in California where he's basically stood in front of that massive whiteboard with pins and bits of
we get Joe all of the heresy books on Audible.
Yeah.
He starts them right from the beginning again, and after he finishes each one, we bring him in and record an episode here, and then we put that on. But what we would do is we would do it as a
deaf horror.
We would do it as a pre-recorded series, Joe, right? So then it would be Horus Heresy Book 1, Horus Rising reviewed, and then people would know.
Yeah.
Because it's in the title, right?
Yeah.
That could be a fun thing to do. Anyway, carry on, sir, because we're still running out. Well, we're 21 minutes over right now.
What? He says so I can walk away or mute. What I need is a little sign. Spoiler.
Yeah.
And then when
Is
when
his
I've,
mouth
when I've
moving?
stopped talking, sign down.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I'll do that for you. I'll get a little sign.
But I want to make that series if you're up for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay, good.
I fucking love books.
Yeah.
Well, them being read to me by, by talented men and women.
Importantly.
Yeah.
Let me know, chat, if that's a series you care about, by the way.
Cosmic Jestery, thank you for the super chat. It says Lord Solar with the new Horus Heresy infantry might be cool.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they released the firemen? The new ones with the axes?
I don't
They're
know.
my favourite.
Yeah.
Like we've got a new modern day military of Imperial Guardsmen with void armour to protect themselves in space, and we've given them modern day lasguns. We've got this elite infantry over here. Well, they've got fire axes.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Because axes are cool, right?
And basically, they can't see anything because their helmet is just full of beard because they're all lumberjacks.
Yeah.
I can barely see through this mesh of hair in my
Like
eyes.
me and you in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
It's like hairy bikers.
I mean, it could be cool. It would look good.
Yeah. Thank you, Evan Tominello. Do they ever mention why there is no positive emotion gods in the warp? Why would only some emotions manifest and not others?
Because narrative.
Fun fact, there are.
Oh, is there?
So Nurgle is really happy.
Yeah, but...
So Nurgle is the embodiment of happiness and growth, right?
Right.
And pestilence, obviously.
Yeah.
But all of his Nurgle's children they literally have the mentality of 5 years old down. They're all just really excited, happy children, puppy dog things. Kind of really kills it for me. We've discussed this, like why is the god of pestilence should be the god of pestilence, but they're all happy because like all their children just go out and count things. Just think of like a bunch of kids on sugar.
But I wouldn't say he's like a positive spirit god thing. Like, it's not like...
I think there are, but they're not talked about because
But I guess the kind of...
they're not as powerful.
But I guess they kind of are the good emotions. If you think about
yeah.
it, right? So Slanesh is ecstasy and pleasure.
Yeah.
Nurgle is happiness. Tzeentch is knowledge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of covers most bases.
Khorne is like essentially like the god of... He is the god of death, but he's also the god of like release, like the releasing of emotions. Because Khorne worshippers, basically they're boundless. They can do what they want. There is no negative effect for what they do.
Yeah.
They either kill people, which gives blood to their god, which they want, or they get killed, which gives blood to their god. It's a win-win.
Maybe. I feel like they kind of are in
And
there already. Though.
jacked.
Yeah. Jacked. Who
Yeah.
doesn't want to be jacked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tzeentch, Lord of Change.
Yeah.
Some people don't like change, but some
Change.
people really like blue, pink, and purple and bird feathers. So,
You got change?
yeah. Who doesn't want bird feet and a beak?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
see plenty of them in Southampton
Yeah.
in the night time.
Yeah, bird feed, lot cheaper than meat.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, right. Brilliant. Stop super chat! I'm trying to finish the stream, Ben!
Also, right, in terms, like, in the warp, gods are given power through worship.
Yeah.
People don't really worship happiness, do they?
Well, no.
No.
Why would you?
Yeah. Because it's a really miserable time to be alive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really difficult to get like humanity happy when you give them jobs, which is basically a 70-hour day of inputting numbers into a typewriter. Right? And if you don't do it properly, we'll kill you and turn you into a servo skull.
Yes.
Right? That's your life.
I think some people will be like, please do.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So
Please.
it's really difficult. Like, it's really difficult to worship a god of happiness
Yeah.
when everyone is miserable.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like there is no fucking happiness at that point.
Yeah. So that's why there's no gods of happiness.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crumpets Panda, which is my favourite name. I've had to take a meeting and missed most of the chat. I'd like to see more non-Space Marine Primarch tier characters, Silent King, etc.
Agree.
Yeah, I'd like to see Vect for Drakari.
In a big fucking floaty boat.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I feel like Tau need another.
Farsight's a pretty cool character.
Farsight's cool, but I kind of feel like they need another one.
Yeah,
in like a
less...
because you've got Shadow Sun, but she doesn't have much effect on the game, and she's quite small and weedy. Because in the Kion books, her power suit gets disabled, and she gets into one of the giant ghost kill suits.
Yeah.
Why don't they just give her that? Just bombing around in a souped up ghost kill suit.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Necrons. The thing is, though, Necrons have got enough, I think, because they've got all the Catan gods. They just need updates of the older ones.
The Deceiver and the Nightbringer just need a new model. Yeah. Which I would love to see that this year.
Yeah.
It'd be super exciting.
Tyranids recently got the
Norn.
The Norn, but it's not a HQ choice, which I always find really weird.
Yeah.
But
I don't feel like they typically need big models.
No, because they've got the Hive Tyrants,
Yeah.
they've got the Swarm Lord,
Tervagon,
yeah.
etc.
What else? What other armies exist in the game?
I mean, we're in a better place now of having, like, even Sisters, Triumph for St. Catherine, we're in a better place now of having cool centerpiece models than we ever have been before. But I would like to see more. You are right.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian Garrett, for welcome to Jarl. He became something else last time on his own.
Did he?
Brian, yeah.
He's upgraded.
Yeah.
What a legend. Thank you, Brian. You're a hero.
Thank you, Matthew Blackwell, for one gifted membership. Thank you, Benjamin Dustin. Mephiston is Primarch level in the books. Mephiston got done dirty by games well.
The Lord of Death is not quite so deathy on the tabletop, is he?
He is, in the books, he is beyond Primarch tier. Right? He's the most powerful loyalist psyker, bar none. No one competes against him as a psyker. He literally grows giant wings, flies around, he goes in the warp, doesn't even have to wear a helmet, literally kills Tyranids by the 100 with his brain, right? Has the embodiment of the Black Rage within him, right? Can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag on the table.
But to be fair, it's not just limited to Mephiston on the tabletop. There's a number of characters that are just not represented on the tabletop. We can go back into this argument of lore versus tabletop rules.
Yeah.
But there are tabletop rules that are narrative.
At least the colour is named after him.
Yeah, well,
there
are tabletop rules that are narrative that still correctly represent the character, even if they're not quite exactly right per the book.
Yeah.
So you can't give Mephiston the rules on the table that he has in the book, because you could just take Mephiston and win, right? So you can't give him that many rules, but he is also not really an impressive anything at the moment. It's like Khan, I mean, Khan hits okay, but there's a number of characters. There's a number of characters at the moment on the tabletop.
Like Typhus is a bit meh.
There's a number of them that are just a bit kind of. They're all right, and typically it mostly hurts around the melee kind of profile. Yeah. That's what we're finding anyway. Right, I'd honestly, I would 100% like to continue chatting about this, but we're already over. In an hour's time, we've got people turning up to do an energy survey on the building because we're getting close to that final lease draft being issued to us, so we can start turning this whole building into something super and secret. Those of you that know. So we need to go because we also need to get to the shop so I can buy Joe some dinner because he doesn't maintain this physique without me getting him food. So that's something we've got to do as well. So we're going to need to go. We also need to start prepping for tonight, Joe. When we bring the debut of the Space Wolves to the channel against the Thousand Suns and a project. Reconnection successful.
Very good.
Reconnection successful. We're back up to green.
We're here. Can they see us? Do we exist?
I'm going to wait for it to catch up. OBS is literally fed up with us rambling for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
It's reconnected successfully. I don't know what happened there. It just randomly disconnected. Like I said, we have people coming in to do an energy survey because we're going to turn this whole building into something
energy
super
is
secret.
Not great.
Yeah,
as it turns out.
We're going to turn this into something super and secret. If you know, you know. So tonight, Joe will be running the Space Wolves and their debut against Thousand Suns because classic narrative. We've also got to set up for all of that, so we need to go because we're now well behind schedule already. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for all the super chats, asking questions, making comments, and talking about the topic. You people are incredible. And thank you so much for all the gifted. We ended on 37 gifted memberships. Thank you so much for watching, you wonderful people. We'll see you. Oh, I just do my ending page. What am I doing? Not yet. No. Super Warchild, thank you for the 2. Here's a super chat to keep the stream going. It's not going to work, I'm afraid. Thank you so much. I'm just very nervous now because it's jumping around over. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have a wonderful time.